All righty, welcome. We are starting our very first episode of Mrs. Alfieri's math class. I don't know. Um, we're going to be recording some videos and you will be answering questions on asynchronous days, most likely through things like Edpuzzle, maybe through something called GeoGebra, which we might try later this week, and then also possibly through some other things too. So let's get started. First, I want to know which one doesn't belong. We're looking at diagrams. So here are 4 images. Which one doesn't belong? All right. So on this, maybe you said A doesn't belong because it looks like it's about a straight line. Maybe you said B, that looks like it's a right angle. Maybe C because it looks like an acute angle. Or maybe you said D because it's obtuse. A, even though it's a line, we would call it a straight angle. So you could have had a different reason for any of those. Let's describe ways figures can move in the plane. That's what we're working on today. So our first unit is all about how things move on a graph or just in a space, and also congruence. That's the idea that something is the same size and the same shape, even though it maybe was rotated or maybe flipped or maybe turned upside down, still the same thing. So we want to be precise about describing the moves of figures in the plane. Today's goal, our learning target is I can describe how a figure moves and turns to get from one position to another. Okay, so I want to know if you can explain the meaning of these following terms. What does rotate mean? Rotation, there we go. To turn. When we talk about rotating something, we want to remember 2 other words, clockwise and counterclockwise. So it's like the hands of a clock turning either clockwise, the normal direction, or counterclockwise, the opposite direction. Okay, the opposite direction is counterclockwise. So if we were to look at A and B, you might be able to tell that image A, or this polygon A, many-sided figure, is the same as image B. It's just been rotated. Okay, so if we were trying to look and figure out what the rotation was, we would start with maybe this bottom line for A, and we would measure how far it had to go to get to that same corresponding line for B. So you might notice that it's a little bit more than 90 degrees from here to there. Okay, you might maybe estimate like 100 degrees. Okay. So when we actually measure it, we can see we weren't that far off. 120 degrees is the actual measurement. A degree is the unit we use to measure an angle, okay? And the vertex, here's that word up here, is the word used to describe what we might call the corner. The word translate, when we talk about moving figures in math, means to move an image. It keeps its original size, it just changes position. It also does not get like turned around or reversed. It is exactly the same, just in a different spot. Congruent means the same. So you can see all of these are the same. Even though this one's upside down, we could rotate it and make it the same as the others. This one's been flipped, but these are different sizes or different images. So we're going to look at something called the triangle square dance, and we're going to look how images move.